Hey, good evening, everybody. This is your friendly neighborhood groups pastor, Kenny Barr. Hey, I'm going to try to go really fast here because I tried to make this video a little earlier and it was like 25 minutes, okay? So I'm going to speak a lot about a lot of information, but I'm going to do so this video isn't super long. If you do have any questions, though, or you have any thoughts, or you want to discuss something, whatever the reason, give me a call. Give me an email. I love hanging out with you guys. You guys are all wonderful people. But I want to give you this information without taking forever to do so. So a couple things we have coming up this year. And I just want to start off with saying, you guys are all doing a stinking fantastic job. I think one of the biggest prayers this year, for me at least, has been, and the other coaches and other leaders, has been, how do we have this culture within groups ministry where it's not this is our group and you only can talk about it at our group, but having this culture of like, hey, we care about people being in a community. And I saw this happen last Sunday with the Underwoods. Ken and Dinah Underwood came up to me on Sunday and they said, hey, we were sitting next to this young man during service. They met him. Then after meeting him, they brought him over to me and they said, hey, this guy needs to be in a group, whether it's our group or somebody else's group, but we need to get this guy connected. And that to me was just yes. Thank you. That's the culture we want. An invitation where we care about other people, knowing other people, but having a relationship with God as well. So high five, everybody. You guys are all doing a fantastic job. But I want to get you some information, some upcoming things happening. One, worship night happening this Wednesday, 6 p.m. here at the building. Man, I can't tell you how much this was such a big deal that happened last year. We loved it. If you're not fasting, I want to encourage you to jump on it as soon as possible. It sucks. It's horrible. You will hate every second of it. But there's something about saying, God, I am going to remove this in my life and replace it with this desire and hunger for you, God. Whenever I'm starving, I'm going to pray with you. Whenever I'm like, I know some people are doing screens, right? And so it's like, oh, I just want to watch TV, but instead I'm going to pray or read my Bible. It is fantastic. And then you add now I'm going to get with other believers and we're going to worship God together and we're going to pray together. It's fantastic. So that's happening this Wednesday, 6 p.m. Another thing, we have two groups that started this week and last week. One is we have a North of 50 group led by Larry Andrews and Mike Mead. I'm super excited about this group because it is a niche that we've been needing. When the transition happened between when Nate stepped in as lead pastor, we realized, hey, this is a group of people we want to make sure they feel welcomed. We make sure they feel like they have a place here. And so Mike and Larry are leading that group called the North of 50 group. The other group that started was Becca Nicholson started a women's group. And Becca has been a youth leader for years. Fantastic youth leader. And then two, she was on staff here at North Church in our kids ministry. So she's leading a women's group with a bunch of young women kind of in their 20s and 30s. And so if you know anybody that fits kind of those demographics, point them their way. If they're not in a group already, man, say, hey, there's really great groups led by really great people. Go and join them. Okay, so that's happening. A couple other things happening upcoming is we have lots of classes happening. One is Rooted. Rooted is one of the best ways I've seen people get connected here at North Church because Nick and Hannah Rogers are going to be leading a Rooted group. They're excited not only for Rooted, but excited to hopefully keep that group and continue it as a community group. And so whenever the leader kind of wants that, usually it happens. And so if you know anybody and you're like, hey, we want you connected, sign them up for Rooted, tell them about Rooted. We're going to be talking about it this Sunday. The other thing is we have FPU January 31st starting. Larry Andrews is going to lead that. It is such a fantastic tool for people to experience financial freedom and peace. There's so many stories of people taking that class and realizing, man, God's stewardship and how he views money and how they can implement that in their life. And so that is starting January 31st, Tuesday night here at the building. Another one that's starting up is we have the Holy Spirit class. That's gone through 3 groups now, and it is fantastic. We're seeing people come closer to not just knowledge about the Holy Spirit, but a relationship with the Holy Spirit to where it is driving them to go disciple people. And so let me know if you want to know more about the Holy Spirit class. But the big one that's coming up is February 21st is our emotional healthy spirituality. Here's the deal. Our staff went through it, and then we've had one of our groups go through it. And we've seen so much people have growth in their emotions. Pete Scazzero, the author of it, says this line. He says, "You can't be spiritually mature if you're emotionally immature." And we're finding that, and we're seeing that. And so much, God has torn down so many walls just within our staff in this group. And people are experiencing this freedom and growth in their relationship with God by tackling this. So that's starting February 21st. If you're a group leader that's on Tuesday nights, I want to encourage you maybe thinking about saying, hey, what if our group just met at the church and went through this? That's a possibility. If your group doesn't meet on Tuesday nights, doesn't mean you guys can't do it. You can either move your group to Tuesday nights for a short period of time, or down the line, what I'd love to see is somebody from EHS come to your group and lead it. So if that's interesting to you, please let me know. I want to get pen to paper as soon as possible, and let's actually figure that out. But those are the classes that are coming up. Another thing coming up is Man Camp. I went to Man Camp for the first time last year, and I'll be honest with you, I went to it and I was like, who knows if we'll ever do this again. This doesn't sound fun to me, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna check it out. And I was very skeptical, to be honest with you, but it was so fun. We sent 30 men from our church, aging from 18 to old, and it was actually fun. I know a lot of camps or ministries say, oh, we want this intergenerational ministry, and rarely do I ever actually see it work, but this did. It was so fun to see young guys meeting older guys and being in relationship and actually having genuine fun, whether it was playing basketball, whether it was shooting hoops, whether it was shooting guns. We shot a lot of guns, pistols and shotguns, and we had guys hanging around fires. We had guys throwing hatchets. We had guys playing games, but what was most important to me was we had guys worshiping together, reading the Bible together, talking about their relationship with God together. And if there's one thing I know about the Bible, man, it is when you take time out of your schedule to say, God, I'm going to intentionally hang out with other believers on a weekend where we're focusing on our relationship, God shows up in a very big way. So that's March 17th through the 19th. It's $125. Money will never be a reason people don't get discipleship. And so I don't care where your group's at. I don't care where the guys are at. We'll get them there, okay? But it just takes all of us to go. So what I really love to see is there are guys from every single group that go to Man Camp this year. I love to go from 30 guys to 100 guys, and just North Church, selfishly, I just want to win, right? I want to be like, look at us, North Church showed up, let's go. But I just see the win of it, and so I'm very excited about Man Camp this year. I'm 150 degrees. I'm no longer skeptical. I'm all about it. So sign up. If you have questions, come find me. Last thing that I want to do, and because I'm trying to keep this below 10 minutes, is we have an upcoming series called More. And so Pastor Nate has been talking about the staff about this year. He really felt like God, out of John chapter 3, say, less of me and more of you, God. So less of me as a human, God, and I want more of you. And so we're going to have this More series where we're going to focus on our relationship with God and trying to have more time with him. And so we have these More journals. So I'm going to have about 50 or so paper journals, but it's also going to be on the YouVersion Bible app. And I've used this Bible app with small groups before when I did high school and with high school guys. And it is fantastic, you guys. Not only is it nice as a leader because you can get on the app and you could see who read that day, but any comments they made, any things they wanted prayer for, I could see on my app. And so I remember telling students like, Ben, dude, you haven't read for 3 days, dude. How are you doing? What is going on? And him being like, dude, I forgot about it. I'm going to jump on right now. But as well as, hey, Johnny, dude, this is really insightful what you said on this passage, man. Way to go. High five. So I want to really encourage everybody to do the YouVersion app. If you've never done it, come find me. I'll talk you through it. If you're a person that's like, well, Kenny, I've always had a paper Bible and a paper journal, I want to encourage you just to break out of that for a little bit. Try it out. If you hate it, don't worry. It's not forever. But I do want you to try it. I think as a group leader, you'll find a lot of cool tools that come with it. But we do have some paper versions for those people. I mean, I ran into a couple of them last Sunday They're a little older, and I don't really know how the phone works, and so we want to provide that for them. But that's coming up. It's going to be at the end of January, so what I'd like you to do is start thinking about it with your group. Start saying, hey, we're going to spend during this series the first 10 minutes of group at just talking about, hey, how's your time with God daily going? And so I'll give you more information as we get closer, but I wanted to give you the heads up. You guys are doing fantastic, so I want to wrap this video up, but thank you so much for what you do. Honestly, we are seeing people, we had like 225 people last time I looked in community. And it doesn't matter about the number, but to me that says, man, we have more people being around other believers. We have more people saying yes to God, and we have more people saying, I want to share God with others. And that's because of you. That's because you decided to say, hey, I care about others, and I want to disciple other people, and I want to see them grow in their relationship with God. So high five. Thank you so much. If you have questions about any of this stuff, find me, find your coach. You guys are awesome.